Hi friends, in this tutorial I'm going through PySpark. So as you know, PySpark is a programming language which will help you to do all the ETL jobs. So if you have a data lake, or if you are using the data AWS Glue, or if you are using Databricks, so basically you are working on the Spark platform, and when your data is stored in Spark cluster, which is basically a distributed clustering, you need how to work on that data. For that you need a PySpark language. Okay, and this tutorial is fully hands-on based tutorial. I have created a Jupyter notebook for you, so that we will go through each and every detail, more detail. Okay, so this tutorial will be available in GitHub. It's already there, and I will also share the GitHub link in the description. Okay, so the first step is, because I'm running this locally, not in any cloud platform, we have to install and import PySpark. Okay, so these are just basic commands. You can just execute it. Okay, so, and remember, since you are installing them locally, you can create a virtual environment. So I have created a virtual environment over here, and all the Spark related installations are over here. So the advantage of having the virtual environment is you will have one environment where all the libraries will be sitting over there, and they will not be conflicting with your system library. So I'm using, suppose, Mac, and in the Mac I have different version of the Python, and then I will have different version of other libraries. Okay, so I don't want to conflict anything with that, so I installed all the libraries whatever is needed in virtual environment. Okay, hope it's clear. So these are the few imports. Let's go through one by one. Okay, so the important thing is Spark session, which will basically help you to create a Spark object. Okay, and then some functions, like these are the functions we will go through. These are the aggregate function, count, sum, average, max, min, and some other functions related to date and time functions you can see over here. And other function is a window function. We will go through each function one by one. Okay, so let's run this cell. Initialize Spark session. Okay, this is initializing and creating the Spark session object. Okay, so this particular one line of code, you will find it everywhere. Spark session dot builder, and application name master config getter create. Okay, it's a standard code, just run it. Okay, so you can see Spark version 4.0 is installed. Okay, now the next thing is, here we are using a data. Okay, and data is this CSV file. Okay, sample employee.csv file. Okay, let me open this CSV file. Okay, so it's a very simple file. As you know, Spark can handle large amount of data. Okay, so we do not want to, like, we just want to learn the concept over here. So we will go through only with the sample file. Okay, so this file has got like employee ID, name, department, salary, age, joining date, and location, and just 20 rows of the data. Okay, so when you work on a data, especially the data is in the form of the CSV. Okay, so it's basically, we can say, as a two-dimensional data. Okay, and it's always good to use the data frame. Okay, one question, always remember, this is Spark data frame, not the Panda data frame. Okay, so the methods which you use in Panda data frame are not applicable over here in Spark data frame. Okay, so first is you have to load this data. So you created the Spark object in the last here. Okay, and then come over here, spark.read.csv, sample employee csv, header true, infer schema equal to true. Okay, and you see data loaded successfully. Okay, now let's see the basic data frame operation. So one of the basic operation which if the data is loaded, we want to see the structure of the data. We want to see the schema of the data, like how many columns are there, how many rows are there, and each column, what is the data type of each column, whether it's a string, whether it's an integer. And then we may also want to see for each column, if it is applicable, what is the average value, what is the minimum value, what is the max value, right? So it will give us the overall idea about our data. Okay, so let's come over here. So what we did here, first I am just checking the first 5 rows of the data. Okay, df.show. Okay, so data frame which we have created after loading the data. One thing remember, okay, in Panda data frame I am just converting to Panda data frame also, because many of you would have worked in definitely Pandas. Okay, and there you just write a df and it will print like df.head, or you just write the df, it will print the whole data frame. Okay, here in Spark data frame, you have to, if you want to show the data, okay, you have to always use the show method. Okay, and then 5 is like how many records you want to show over here. Okay, so here if you see df.show and df.columns, df.columns method is used to show all the columns which we are having it. Okay, if you run it here, you can see here, this is the first 5 rows of our data: employee ID, name, department, salary, age, joining date, location. Nicely put it over here, and then this is our columns. Okay, so now let's come to next here, display schema. Okay, I want to see the schema, means what are the columns are there and what is the data type of each column. Okay, so df.print schema, run this. So here you can see these are the columns and these are the integer string. It will nicely, it says about this column. Okay, now another method is very important which I am going to show you, that is the describe method. What this describe method does, it will give you the statistical summary of numerical columns, as I told you, because it will give us some idea about the data, right? Like salary, what is the min salary, what is the max salary in my data set, right? So now our Excel sheet is very small, like it's just a 20 rows. Even if you just look at it, you will be able to see the min and max values. Okay, but in the real life it's not going to be the same. Okay, your data may be having the million of rows. Okay, so this is basically help you at that point to get the actual overall data. Okay, so remember again, df.describe and .show. So as I told you, the show method, you have to use it always to show the data. Okay, so automatically it will calculate the count, how many count are there in employee ID columns, 20, each 20, because count is not related to whether the columns is integer type or it is a string type. Okay, mean. So if you see wherever we have calculated the mean, the employee ID mean is 110.5. Okay, and same way, because if name is a string type, it's not applicable, so it has automatically put as a null. Okay, and salary mean is $84,200. Okay, and age is 31, and again location is again a string, it has make as a null. Then standard deviation, again for all the integer columns you have calculated standard deviation, and then you have the min and max. Okay, so okay, now let's come to the very important part. So till now we saw the method like df.describe method to show the statistical analysis of my Spark data frame. We saw df.show method to show the actual data frame. We have seen the df.column method to see all the columns, and we have seen the df.print schema method to print the whole schema. Okay, now let's come to the how to select, like you want to select one particular column, okay, or you want to select multiple columns, how to do that. Okay, so we are printing here, print df.select name.show 5. Okay, so what it will do, this data frame will select the name. Okay, df.select is a method to select the columns. Okay, if I want it, I can show you like this here. Okay, I can write it here for you. df.select select. Okay, so here you can give the name of your column. Okay, so whatever column you want to see, suppose I want to see the age column. Okay, so it's very nice nowadays, it will show you everything over here. Okay, and show 5, what it will do, it will list you the first 5 column values. Okay, and run it. Okay, so you can see over here df.select, because since you have used the show method, if you don't use the show method, okay, it is not going to show you the age. Let me put it over here. Okay, so you can see the first age, first 5 ages, 32, 28, 35, 29, 35. Okay, you can see here df.select age, but you can't see over age over here. Okay, so if you want to see any value here, you can just put it here, and if you run it, you will see it over here. Okay, so similar way, here we are putting the name. Okay, print df.select name.show 5, so it will give the first 5 names. Okay, and if you want to use the multiple print, I will just put here print multiple columns. Okay, okay, so here you can see df.select. This is, always remember, the select method is used to select columns. It can be one column or it can be multiple columns, and we are going to use this again and again. Okay, so now we are adding 2 columns, name and salary, and then dot show method to basically show this. Okay, you don't need to use the print. Okay, if you just put over here, it should print too. So I'm just putting it here to have less confusion. And again, so we are just printing name and salary. So you can see over here name and salary, first 5. Okay, so now if I want to add one more column over here, we can add here age, maybe one more column I can add here. You have to see the name of the column, it should be correct. So you can see here name, salary, age and department. We were able to see all 4 columns. Okay, so you learned how to display column values. Okay, so suppose if you want to see here all the employees, their salary is more than 60,000. Okay, so how to do that? So here you selected all the columns. Okay, and in the column you want to put a filter. Okay, so if you want to put a filter, let's do here. So you create a new data frame, df new, df.filter, column salary and greater than 60,000. Okay, and then here you just selected these 2 names. Okay, it's very simple. So what we need to do here, your data frame, put the data frame here. So instead of using the filter select command, you will use the filter, because you want to filter. Okay, and then it putting everything for us, column salary greater than 60,000. Okay, and in the same, because this one will give you the data frame where the salary is 60,000. Okay, now in that data frame, suppose if you want to select name and salary, 2 columns, then you can just add over here. Okay, so let's see what it shows. Okay, I did not comment it out, this one. So you can see over here, it has giving you name, salary and show 5. Okay, so if you don't select these columns, what it will do, it should basically by default it should show you the dot show. Okay, you have to put the show, otherwise without show it will not show you anything. Okay, so now if you run this cell, you can see by default it is showing you the complete table. Okay, so here we learned how to show columns And in the column, if you in a particular column, if you want to give any condition, like in the salary, if you want to filter out with salary less than a range, you can use the filter thing. Okay, now let's come to the new one. Same thing, filter employees with salary greater than 90,000, df dot filter column salary 90,000 dot show. Okay, same thing if you just want to use few columns, suppose only employee and salary, name and salary, so just put here name, salary, or if you want, suppose get as age also, age. Okay, that's it. No, I don't want, just want this one. Okay, it got me department. I just don't want department. So you can see name, salary, age greater than 90,000. Okay, now how to put the multiple conditions. Okay, so you have seen already, you put df dot filter, then in the column where you want to put the condition, you can put greater than or less than condition. If you want to put multiple condition, you just need to use the or and. Okay, conditions. So here engineering employees with salary greater than 90,000, df dot filter department equal to engineering. Okay, column department and column salary is greater than 90,000. Okay, next condition similar way. So here if you see df dot filter, either you can use and put a condition like that, or you can also put df dot where. Both are the same thing. Okay, so here if you see df dot where, we put it here, location is in New York, San Francisco, show. Okay, so if you want to have a condition in string type of data type, okay, so if it is a integer data type, you can easily do the less than or greater than. Okay, but if it is a string type of data type, then you can put you can put the equal here as we are doing it, department equal to engineering, or you can also do over here location dot is in New York and San Francisco. Okay, so hope till now it's clear. Let's go again. Now in this part, we are going to see how to add in a new column and how to modify the existing column. Okay, so here if you see, we have created a new data frame with the existing data frame df, and we are using a method called with columns. Okay, so with column method is used to create a new column. So here we are creating a new column as bonus, and how the bonus is calculated, it is the 10% of the salary. Okay, so the column name and how your column is getting calculated, okay, that you have to, so it's basically column name and the value of the column. Okay, so here if you see, if I just put a show method, if you don't put the show method, df with bonus is not going to show you anything. Okay, so I'm just putting the show method 5, and let's see what it says. So here if you see, it printed the new data frame and with all the column names, and with the new column is bonus, and which is basically the 10% of the salary. You can see it over here. Okay, and this is the new data frame, and again you want to just select 3 columns out of all 6 columns, then name, salary and bonus you selected, and you can see over here it comes name, salary and bonus. Okay, and the third one, what we did it, again we created a new column named as dob, and in the dob we assigned another column value. Okay, so column salary, so you will see over here date of birth will be the same column as the salary column. Now there is one more thing, which is how to change the name of a column. Okay, so here if you see, this is our data frame, and here we have selected a column name, the column name. Okay, and we are using a method called alias. So alias is the method. What it does, it will basically change the name of that column. Okay, so here we change the name of name to employee name. Okay, so the way we give it, like we select the column, and then in the column name itself we will use the method as alias, and we'll give the new column name. So if you run it, and you see here it's changed to employee name. Okay, So here we learned how to add a new column, how to modify the existing column and assign to a new column, and how to change the name of a column. Okay. Let's come to the very important topic here in data frame, and that is the group by and aggregations. Okay, so these are the group by functions are there: count, sum, average, mean. So first understand when we say as a group by what it does. Okay, so if you see your data frame here, in this data frame, suppose we have the salary, okay, or we have the department, and we say as a group by of department what it does. So group by function will basically squeeze your number of rows. Okay, so it will create one row for the engineering, okay, another row for the marketing, and another row for the sales. Okay, so basically these two engineering rows will be grouped. Marketing row will be anyway it's 1, and sales will be 1. Okay, and then it may ask you, okay, give me the group by. You have to basically group by with department and give the salary. Okay, so similar type of questions they can ask. So these are the functions like count, sum, average, mean, min, max, okay, variance. Okay, so here suppose we can get a question. Okay, tell me what is the total number of count of all the employees. Okay, or you can ask what is the average of the salary. Okay, so basically you are clubbing the salary column. Okay, let's come over here. Count total rows and rows per group. Okay, how to count it? So you can simply count here. Total number of employees is basically number of rows, so that you can get it simple df dot count. You will get a total number of employees because it will be employee IDs are there from here to here. And then suppose they can ask you how to what is the employee count with each department. So what you have to do, since you have to find the employee count with each department, you have to do a group by in the department. Okay, so you can see df dot group by and department. Once this, you will get this thing. Okay, then after that you have to use the count. Okay, dot count and show. Let's see what it does. So what it did, your data frame, it has grouped by department. So you can see now you can see only sales, engineering, HR, finance, and marketing. And how many counts are there? 4, 6, 3, 3, 4. Okay, now you want to calculate the salary, the average salary, and grouped by department. Okay, so average salary, you just put a function. So the first thing is you need to remember what you are going to group by. Okay, so group by and that column name. You can either write the column name as department, or you can just write a department. Both are correct. And then after that you put that function which you want to use that. Okay, so hope it's clear. So any group by queries, first you need to see what you have to group. Okay, df dot group by, and then after that you have to see what function you are going to perform. Okay, now same thing, one more time repeating. Sum and average you have grouped with a department, and then you are getting the average. So there are two ways you can write this aggregator function. You group with a department. Either you can directly write this function like average salary, or you can write under the aggregation and average salary dot show. Let's see the third one. It's pretty big. So what we are doing it here, we are grouping with the department, and then we are aggregating. Basically we are getting the salary, the sum of the salary. So if there are suppose 3 departments, what it is going to do, it is going to sum salary of all those 3 departments, and then it is going to change the name because we have the alias as a total salary. And then what it going to do, order by total salary in ascending order. Okay, so starting one will be the lower, and then higher and higher, like that. Okay, so just run it and see. Okay, group by department, group by department. Okay, so you have grouped all your department, and then total salary you put it here. So in it just showing you the 2 rows, but there will be more rows. Okay, engineering and HR, and then it has given you the salary in the ascending order. This is the lower and this is the higher. Okay, next thing, similar way you can also apply the min, max and multiple aggregation at once. So the concept will be the same. First you have to group. So here what you did, you group with the location. Okay, and you suppose there is a query in location Chicago, how many employees are there? Okay, so you would have seen you in the location you aggregated, and then count asterisk, you have to use the count function, and then employee count. Okay, you could change the name as a employee count, and when you put the asterisk it will basically get you all the rows. Then average salary, alias average, so you created a new one, you just change the name of the column. Okay, salary to average salary, and you just made it as a average. And remember, these all things are grouped by not department, by location. So if you just run it and you see these are the unique location, because you have grouped by Los Angeles, San Francisco, Austin, and then each location what is the average salary, what is the min salary, and what is the max salary. Hope it would be clear. Let's go to the new one. Okay, next function is count distinct and sum distinct. Okay, what it does, number up, suppose it says like what are the, you have to count how many distinct locations are there. Okay, so when you grouped by, what it does, it will basically squeeze all one location in one row, one location in one row, one location in one row. Okay, but here you want to know how many counts are there, so you just aggregate it and use the direct function as a count distinct. So it will it showed you how many distinct locations or cities are there, 8. Okay, and similar way for each location wise how many distinct departments are there, you can get it like this. Okay, same way we discussed about average, mean and median, we can also calculate the standard deviation and variance too. So what we are doing here, we are grouping by the department, and then using the aggregate function, average salary, we change the name to average salary, then standard deviation salary, and then variance salary. Okay, now here if you see what we are doing it, we are returns the first and last value encountered in each group. Okay, so first and last employee name alphabetically per department. How to do that? First thing is what you did, you just ordered as a alphabetically df.order by, and then you grouped them, all of them with the department. Okay, and then each department, like how many people are there, you just need to aggregate with the first name and last name. So here you can see in department it's engineering, and then first name last name, and then it will be with the alphabetical, because you have already put an order by in the name. Okay, these are the few more group by situations. Okay, now let's say talk about this is the aggregation cheat sheet. So these are the functions which I have defined. Next one is how to sort and how to order a data. Like suppose we get a question like print top 5 highest paid employees. Okay, so the first thing is what we need to do, we have to put an order by in the salary. Okay, because with the salary, if you put the order by and descending means the top one will be the highest salary, and then it will be start getting lower and lower. So this will able to give you the data frame with salary, but we do not want all the attributes present. So what we do, we just need to select like name, department and salary, and salary will be organized as a top to bottom. sort by multiple columns, how to do that? Same thing, df.order by. So here you are first doing the department and salary, and salary will be in the descending form. Okay, so you and then what you're selecting the name, department and salary. And always remember, here you are not doing the group by. Okay, so don't get confused like these many engineering rows are there and those rows would be converted to one row. Okay, because you just doing the order by, you are just getting the sequence. Okay, in the department you are getting the alphabetical sequence. Okay, and salary you are getting the sequence from top to bottom. Okay, next one is a joins between a data frame. So there are three type of joint, you already know: inner joint, left joint and right joint. So here this is a new data frame you are creating with department data, which has got new departments: engineering, marketing, sales, finance, HR and IT. And each department you have got like budget 50,000, 25,000, and then your division name. Okay, it's a engineering part of technology, marketing part of business, like that. Okay, so you created a new data frame with dept_data, and then you can, so here you created this new data frame, department_df. Okay, using this spark.create data frame. And once the data frame is created, you can see here you can join df, that's a parent data frame, join department data frame. And then how you are joining these two data frame? Using the column as a department, and it should be the inner one. Okay, so inner one means you will get common in both. Similar way you can also do the left join, and left join you just need to the left join. Okay, so now in this tutorial we will keep until here. So what we learned in PySpark: how to initialize the Spark object, then how to statistically present the data frame. Okay, and then we saw how to add a new column, how to delete a new column, and how to modify the existing value of the existing column. Okay, like you want to know how many employees are there whose salary is more than 50,000. Then we saw how to use the group by and order functions, and the last we saw how to join two data frame. Okay, thank you. If you like our content, please don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.